This is the calm before the sleep. The nightly bedtime story with no real plot and no important characters. All you need to do is find a comfortable position, let your eyes flutter shut, and let yourself drift away into a cozy, sleepy world. Your story begins now. Welcome to the universe. We have a lot to explore today. First, we will float among the stars of the beautiful Milky Way. Notice the comets flying past. Those were probably born in our own solar system. Soon we will have a nice picnic and a stroll along Saturn's rings. Who can resist the allure of a quiet walk? After that we will drift out to the cometary clouds and perhaps even catch a glimpse of a beautiful celestial object. We are now looking for the Milky Way. It is easy to find. The Milky Way is shaped like a sine wave and it is a part of the constellation of the zodiac. The glow you can feel is called the zodiacal light. The light comes from all of the dust particles in the air. The dust particles from space are very blue. They reflect blue light the way a sky filled with light blue clouds does. The zodiacal light is very faint, but it is still easy to see if the light is in your eyes. This is a good place to stop and take a rest. We should all enjoy this nice light. If you feel like you need to hold on to something, there is a railing on the side of the spaceship. This next part of the journey is very hard to make sense of, so it is best to try to understand the story later. Look up at the sky and look back at the sun. Notice how there is a halo around it. This comes from the light of Jupiter reflecting off the moon. However, because the sun is so close to the Earth, the light from the sun is very red. It is easily the brightest light in the sky. The Milky Way is extremely faint, but there is a halo around it that looks very red in color. This is due to the structure of the molecules. Notice how the light from the sun just seems to dissolve into the milkiness of the sky. The solar light is red and the Milky Way is blue. Because the sun is so close to the Earth, the Milky Way is an optical illusion. The light that is left behind will get very faint and eventually disappear. This trip takes us into a place that few humans have been before. We are traveling to a nearby star system. When we get there, we will find out a lot about our place in the universe. This star system is known as the Apollo star. The star is far from the Earth. Even though it is a bit distant, it is still a bright star. The Apollo star is a red dwarf. This means that the light from it is very different from our own sun. We will learn a lot about red dwarfs and we will learn a lot about our own sun. As we turn back around, look out the window again. That is nice. It is getting late and we are all tired. The inside of the ship is comfortable. The plan is to sleep for a while and then leave our ship and explore our new environment. We will rest and rejuvenate ourselves. In the morning we will start exploring the stars. What will we find? We will have to wait and see. Until then, sleep well. Liftoff is complete. We are at the Apollo star and have just started exploring. We are floating gently in the constellation of Aquarius. It seems that there is a small planet in the distance. Look at the stars overhead and see if you can find the planet. If you do, it is very faint and hard to see. Look for it for a few more minutes. The Earth and the planet we are looking at are in a giant orbit around the Apollo star. You are enjoying floating in the shine of the Apollo star, but you want to go and explore this new world. We can all get back in the spaceship and head to this new planet. The planet is very, very faint. The reason you can't find it is that it is so far away that your eyes have not yet adjusted to the new light. When the Earth moved away from the Sun and the Sun moved closer to us, the Earth and the planet started to come into focus. This is a process that happens very slowly. The planet that we are exploring will soon be revealed in full. The star that we are exploring will get brighter and brighter in the sky, and in a few days as our ship approaches, we will see this planet clearly. Meanwhile, enjoy the pleasant spaceship. The lack of gravity makes it so easy to fall asleep. The planet is still very faint, but it is coming into focus. It is still very far away, but you are able to make it out better now. You will soon see this planet with your own eyes. When you do, the stars will no longer be so bright. When you get closer, the planet will be coming into focus more. Look again, it is just as bright as it was before. It was out of focus before, but it is slowly coming into focus. Your eyes have adjusted to the change in light. You can now see the planet. It is very close and it looks like it is covered in water. There is a light rain of purple dust. It is chilly on the surface, but not uncomfortable. It seems that there is a valley coming out of the water. The planet looks like it is made out of liquid. It looks very different from our world. You can get out of the ship and try dipping your toe in the water. It has a very interesting feeling to it. It is crisp and refreshing, and the purple dust is very pleasant to look at. The gravity on this planet is low, and it makes you float just a little bit. It is quiet on the surface of the planet. There is no wind. The temperature is moderate. It is much warmer than the surface of the water. The floor of the valley is covered with ice. It is as cold as the ground at home. There aren't any fish in the water, but you see little swirls of dust that seem to be interacting with each other. You see a small piece of ice floating towards you. You can hold out your arm and touch the ice. It is very smooth and you are surprised to see that your arm glides right through it. This planet seems to have very interesting properties. You are interested in this planet, but want to head back to the comfortable spaceship and see what else there is to explore in this corner of the universe. Let's climb back aboard and take a nice nap. Soon, you notice that the view outside the window is filled with twinkling stars once again. You are passing through a crater belt. No need to worry, there is plenty of room for the ship to pass through them. The craters float around the ship in place, like big languid whales. They don't take up much room at all, and they are mostly just cool to look at. You see a giant red planet covered in clouds. There is an opening in the clouds that you can see through. You can see a lot of lights inside. Perhaps there is a city there. It is amazing to think about what those lights could be. Your ship has just entered another planetary system. A cluster of small planets orbit around two medium-sized stars. The planets are shaped like starfish. You can see some of them have gas clouds that are glowing green, yellow, and red. They are interesting to look at, and very different from the planets of our solar system. You see a planet with 3 giant, active volcanoes. The one in the center is very active and is throwing out streams of lava and steaming rock. The planet is still far away, but the volcano is still visible. You can see that there are a few little lights on the other side of the planet. The light looks like it is coming from deep underground, but is more bright than the surface. You see a planet with clouds of gas and dust. You can see that there are little circles of light near the planet's surface. They look like little satellite orbits. Could it be? Does this planet have beings that created satellites? You can see a cool-looking planet moving past in the background. It looks very strange. There is a ring around the planet's center, which is sitting on top of a bright yellow circle. You can see that the ring is fairly small, and there are a lot of clouds in it. You see a large planet with several moons. The outermost one is a perfect white sphere with no craters. You see a small blue moon with many small, colorful rings. One is slightly larger than the other, but it is very hard to make out from the distance. You notice that the moons seem to be moving away from each other. It would be very interesting to know how gravity works on these planets. You see a planet with green crystals surrounding the planet. The planet is covered in craters that seem very deep. Could there be an active world there? Do the crystals have some sort of energy that the planet's inhabitants use? You notice that the view in the window is slowly changing over time. It makes you feel almost meditative. Your ship is still flying through space. The planets that we have passed are no longer visible through the window, but you can still see other planets in the distance. You are in the spaceship, sleeping peacefully in your pilot seat. You wake up, and see a small asteroid next to your ship. It is emitting a pale blue glow. You decide to leave the ship and visit the beautiful asteroid. You are not worried about getting back to the ship, because this asteroid has such a marvelous view. You see the ship going off into the stars. As you watch, the ship fades out of existence. A small cluster of dots appears. You realize that you are floating inside the cluster of dots. You are in outer space, but at the same time, you are far away from the cluster. It feels as if you have entered a cavern, and are standing on a tiny floating platform. You go inside and explore. The area is very dense, with millions of tiny glowing dots that seem to be everywhere. But they are not exactly moving. They are constantly changing. You see little balls of light darting around. They are strange balls of light that look a bit like fireflies. You can't really tell what they are, but they are very different from anything you have ever seen before. You walk around, and the farther you get into the asteroid, the more the different light balls appear. They all seem to be moving, but they don't seem to have a real shape. You see one that moves very slowly toward you. Its shape is mostly black, but it is surrounded by very bright white light. Another one flies in, and looks like a star. A third, larger light moves in. It seems to be circling the room. When you warp around, the white balls and the large light all seem to move. You can even feel the air moving past you, as if you were being carried along. It is a very relaxing feeling. Soon, you find that you have left the asteroid and are floating among the stars. You do not know what these little balls of light are, but you understand that they will keep you safe. And when you feel brave, you try to move around and see the stars themselves. You soon figure out how to control your movement. Just by thinking about going in a certain direction, the light will take you there. All around you, you can see all the stars in the universe. You are very happy to see this beautiful sight. The stars look very bright, and appear to be much closer than they look from your ship. You are not worried about getting back to your spaceship. It feels as if you are a guest here. You float around and see the little lights in the sky. You see a planet off in the distance, surrounded by icy rings, and decide to float in that direction to get a closer look. The planet seems very cold. It is covered in snow. You see a cave, which is filled with glowing crystals. It is very bright inside. The crystals seem to be a source of energy for the planet. The cave feels cool and bright. There is an opening on the other side, so the cave forms one long tunnel. The crystals glowing inside the cave give you a sense of inner peace. You notice that your ship has appeared in front of you. You can see it hanging in space, with the solar wind glowing around it. When you look down, you see that the planet is surrounded by these green crystals, which look a little like river rocks. You wake up and see a friendly face. It is made up of the balls of light, as if they are sending you off. It doesn't look like a cluster of lights anymore. It seems to be a floating green rock, made of green crystals. It also seems to be moving, but not in a very coordinated way. You can move around it, just like you can move around your body by thinking. It feels like you are in two places at once. You realize that the green rock is a being that is spread out across the universe. It looks like a crystal growing out of a planet. You reach out to touch it, but realize that it is not solid. You can talk to it, just like you can talk to a living person. But there are no words. It is a feeling, or a kind of ethereal experience. You feel a connection between you and the green crystal, but it does not feel like you are in the same place. "Where are you?" you ask. You finally get an answer, but this time, you do not get one from a rock. It is more of a feeling that you get as you look at the stars and see the planets floating in place. You feel so happy, so peaceful, and so appreciative of your experience that you wish you could share it with everyone. Then, as if by magic, a planet comes into view, and out of the planet appear hundreds of yellow spheres of light. These lights are small, but you feel an overwhelming sense of warmth and love. The green crystal responds in a voice that you can only hear in your head. These are the stars of your system. They are all special to you, and you are all special to the stars. You feel a joyous sense of oneness with everything in the universe. The crystals begin to pulse, and you know that they are about to put you into a dream state. The green crystal explains that the dream is only a little different from the one you had on the planet. This one is a little more like the one you have when you are in a forest at night. You enter this dreamlike state and notice that you are floating between two large planets. One is blue, and the other is red. You realize that this is a place where there is always a lot of light, and you can see the colors. The green crystal explains that the blue planet is covered in water, while the red planet is completely dry. You can also see volcanoes on the red planet. It is an extremely hot place, like Venus. You get an idea that there are lava pools, which look like hot springs, on the red planet. You notice that one of the volcanoes is connected to a beautiful blue waterfall, and so you decide to enter the red planet. When you do, you find that there are two large lakes. One of the lakes has a lot of water, and the other has very little water. You decide to take a swim in the blue lake, because it looks so inviting. Then the dream shifts again, and you see an orange planet. It is a hot place, like Mercury. You feel heat and life, and you feel very comfortable. There are many streams of lava flowing through the planet. You can see it flowing into another volcano. This planet has a red North Pole, and a blue South Pole. You can imagine that it has a circle of water around both poles. In this dreamlike place, you see a waterfall that has no bottom, like the stream that was on the red planet. You decide to swim in this water, and you notice that there are no sides to the water. It seems to be just air. It is a warm feeling, and it is wonderful. You realize that you are floating up toward the waterfall. You hold on to the top of the water, and you feel amazed that you can be suspended in the air like this. Then you realize that you have been underwater. You have seen volcanoes before, so you do not have a problem with being underwater. You just float above the water and look around. The water is crystal clear, and you can see that there are many trees and many plants growing all over the place. There are some fruit trees with small fruits, but nothing like the ones that you can find on your home planet. Then the dream shifts again, and you are back in your own galaxy. The orange planet is there, and so are the two volcanoes. There are many long streams of lava flowing down the red planet. There are also many plants and other types of animals. There are large trees with fruit that are orange and bright red. The dream slowly fades back to reality, and you find yourself sitting in your comfortable spaceship. You take the crystal out of your pocket, and you get an idea to try it again. This time, you want to see if you can swim on the blue planet. You put the crystal in your pocket, and when you get off the ship, you are on the surface of the blue planet. When you are about to get into the water, you realize that there are many amazing animals on the planet. You decide to take a picture of one of them, and as you are doing so, you feel that there is an energy in the air. You hear something that sounds like thunder. You remember that you have heard this before. It is the sound of a volcano. You feel the warm air of the planet, and you watch the volcano begin to erupt. You know that you will be safe here because you are protected by the light. You are able to simply enjoy this once-in-a-lifetime experience. You notice a very clear blue river in the distance, and you decide to go toward it. You decide to put your hand in the river, and you feel a very pleasant sensation of cool water. The water is so refreshing that you decide to just sit in it. As you sit in the water, you find that the aliens in the water are paying very close attention to you. They see that you are enjoying the water, and they decide to join you. Some animals come up to you, and others jump into the water and swim alongside you. The animals are very curious about the crystal, and they decide to investigate it. They are clustering around the crystal in your backpack, and seem to feel the energy coming from it. The dream fades back into reality, and you decide to continue journeying among the stars. You quickly set up your bag, pack your crystal, and take out the crystal. A sphere of light flutters down next to you. You do not understand why, but you can tell that this sphere is friendly and has a soul. It has a very nice personality. You want to tell the sphere of light all about the adventures that you have had on the planet, but the light only seems interested in the crystal. The crystal is the only thing that it wants to see. You decide to take the crystal out of your backpack, and the crystal seems to grow even brighter. When it is full of energy, you decide to put it back in your backpack. The sphere of light slowly grows until you are completely surrounded by a soft, white light. You feel it help you float into the air until you are floating among the galaxies again. There are stars twinkling nearby, and off in the distance you can see mysterious spiral galaxies. A shooting star flies off in the distance. You make a wish. As the shooting star fades away, you stop to observe one of the spiral galaxies in the distance. It is so beautiful, and it reminds you of the day that you were born. You wish to explore the universe, and you decide to take the sphere with you on your journey. You leave the sphere in your backpack, and you are floating along happily. The sphere begins to glow brighter and brighter until you feel the warmth of its energy enveloping you. The light reaches into your mind, and you realize that the sphere is going to show you the Big Bang and the origin of the universe. The light beams into your mind, and you begin to experience other things. You start to hear what sounds like singing, and you find that the sphere that you are inside of now is an orb. The sphere shows you how to move your body, and you use your hands to touch the ground. The surface of the sphere is round, but it is also very shiny and smooth. The crystal that you brought with you helps you move the sphere around, like a little spaceship. You start to remember the story that the light told you earlier. You remember that the story had something to do with a light being created from a crystal. Now, you realize that you are that light that was created from a crystal. The light begins to feel smaller as you learn to make the sphere bigger. Your light gets bigger, and the sphere of light gets bigger. You keep learning to move. You move up onto the surface of the nearest planet. Suddenly, you find yourself in a new world. The sky is dark, but you can see the stars twinkling in the distance. There is some kind of land here. You remember the story that the light told you about a new life form being created at the beginning of time. You decide to focus on learning about the new life form. The planet is round and solid, and the sun is in the middle of the sky. The light is in front of you now, and it makes your body glow a very different color. The colors are green, purple, and blue. You are feeling strong. You are now able to control the light. You wait for it to envelope you and transport you to a faraway cosmic land. You go to sleep, and you remember how good it feels to fall asleep. It feels like flying to sleep. The air has a slight breeze to it, but it is so comfortable. You feel so safe and so warm. You wake up in the morning, and you can see more clearly than you could yesterday. You can see that you are in a new place. You feel like a brand new person. You are so happy just to exist, and you know that you want to make the most of this opportunity. The world looks different than it did before. It is much more colorful, and so much more beautiful. The world is still water and soil, but it has a light in it. It is so beautiful to look at, and you are so happy that you have a chance to start a new life. You run to where the source of the light is. You can see the stars, and you can see the sun. You can feel its warmth. You can hear its heartbeat. You feel like the world is yours. You look at the ground, and you see the leaves and the bark of trees. You are in a forest, and the trees have leaves. You can hear the sounds of birds. You hear the wind blowing, and the breeze feels so soft and gentle. You feel so happy that you cannot even stand still. You are flying, and you cannot even be sure that you are still on Earth. You have never felt so alive. The wind is blowing through your hair. You can see the air rushing past you, and you can hear the sound of water softly floating by. You are surrounded by a cloud of colors and shapes. You smell flowers. You see twinkling lights in the distance. There is something shining in the distance. You look down at yourself, and notice that you are glowing. It looks like you are covered in light. The light makes your skin feel different. You can feel a sense of relaxation in the tips of your toes. Slowly, You feel the rest of your feet relax. Then your calves. You are taking deep, calming breaths. You feel the relaxation move its way up your body, to your chest. Your arms slowly relax as well. You even relax the muscles in your face, and your eyes as well. The light is slowly enveloping you, and it makes you glow. You can see the movement of the colors of your body. You feel so happy that you are glowing. You feel so small and tiny, and it is so beautiful. You are so happy. You smile. You know that you must remember this feeling. You want to stay here forever. You feel so happy, and you know that this feeling will never leave. You want to take this feeling with you into the world that you just arrived in. There is a light off in the distance. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you realize that it is not just one light. There are a few more than you expected. You see 3 blinking lights. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you realize that the whole sky is filled with breathtaking stars. You see spiral galaxies off in the distance. Something beautiful catches the corner of your eye. It is a bright green aurora borealis. You turn around, and you see people. These people are looking at the same aurora borealis. They are reacting the same way you are. They see the most beautiful thing in the world. They watch it with wide-eyed wonder. And they are seeing you. This moment is so momentous that you cannot believe it. You cannot believe that this has ever happened, and that the earth is still moving. You see some of the people looking at you. And they are saying some incredibly beautiful things to you. They are telling you that this moment is beautiful, that you are beautiful, that they can feel your presence. These are your first moments of enlightenment. Your first moments where you finally realize that you are a human being. You are alive and you matter to the world. You are no longer just an appendage of the earth, or just a number in a statistics report. You are a human being. You are happy to see these people. They are smiling at you, happy to see you as well. You have connected with others, you have experienced joy and excitement. And that is where you come to your next step. The spaceship gently floats down in front of you, and opens its door for you. It looks very welcoming, and you are excited to step back inside. There is still so much of the universe waiting for you to explore. You get in, and you slowly disappear inside. The doors close, and you are finally alone. The interior of the ship is designed to keep you comfortable. The walls and floor have been made to minimize sound and allow you to enjoy floating around in low gravity. Everything about this spaceship has been thoughtfully designed. You strap yourself into the seat and take off. Perhaps it would be nice to visit a cold, blue planet. You feel the stars of the sky drift past your window. It's so peaceful and serene. Even though you are being transported across the universe, you are still connected to everything you've ever known. The music begins to play, and you smile. You feel good. It feels so good to fly. You feel free. The portal opens up, and you float into a vast space filled with vibrant colors. This is your planet. You slowly rise and come to rest in the very center of the galaxy. You look up, and you see countless stars. It looks so beautiful, and it seems like all of them belong to you. That's when you realize that you have entered a different galactic realm. You feel incredible. You've just been given one of the greatest gifts in the entire world. There is nothing that anyone could possibly throw at you that you cannot handle. And that's why you're here. Because you are the chosen one. You are the master of your fate. You are an interstellar traveler. The dark is fading, and the bright light of the stars is becoming more intense. A vibrant world appears in front of you. It is very colorful, and it reminds you of a vivid painting you've seen once. The plants near the shores of the planet are changing colors as they grow, and it looks like they're inviting you to interact with them. The whole place is full of life, and you can't believe you're in such a beautiful place. You touch the grass of the lush world, and it feels so soft, but it is still warm from the two suns. This world is beautiful, and it is just one of the planets in this new galaxy. There is a lot more where this one came from. As the feeling of lightness takes over, you begin to feel the presence of another being. It feels so good to be in the presence of this spirit, because you can share feelings with them that you can't share with the earthlings. The new being seems very exotic, and it feels good to be surrounded by its majesty. You have come to realize that the aliens on this planet have been communicating to you all along. This place is filled with beautiful beings who are always willing to show you that beauty in the most loving, polite and gentle way. This is their world, and you are their guest here on the planet. You realize that this is something that is common among the inhabitants of this new galaxy. This world of lush flora and non-stop blue suns is a paradise for every being that is here. All are happy, all are peaceful, and all are willing to welcome any visitors who come to visit. This is the perfect place for you to be. The presence of the beings of this place makes you feel loved and secure. You have no fear, and you can just relax. The sound of the inhabitants of this planet are singing happily, and that is making you feel the most amazing sense of euphoria. The music is incredibly relaxing, and you have never felt so complete. You begin to fall asleep, and that's when you hear the voice of the spirit telling you to take a walk in this world. You begin to have a new perspective. You are not a human being on a planet, but you are an extraterrestrial being. The voice of the alien spirit is telling you to look at the sky. You cannot believe the beauty in front of you. As you turn around, the spirit that is now holding your hand leads you to the surface of the planet. The eyes of the people of this world are all glistening with tears of happiness. You can't believe you are this close to them. In the sky, the blue suns shine brightly, and the clouds are beginning to dissipate. The aliens welcome you to their planet, and it feels so good to know that you are not alone anymore. It is wonderful to be here on this new planet. The red sun is shining in the middle of a group of fantastic shapes. You are looking at the creation of the universe. The two spirits are pointing at something in the distance, and the Creator looks at you with her face lit up in delight. You begin to smile as well. The ancient spirits have come together again, and you are going to assist them. You will do a great service for the ones who live in this galaxy. You will start to know your purpose in this galaxy, and you will do everything in your power to protect this planet. The voice of the Creator is becoming softer, and you see more shapes appearing. You realize that this is not just the alien beings, but it's all beings that came to this new galaxy. This whole galaxy is filled with beings from the past, present, and the future. They all came here to help make this place a better place for themselves and for the ones who are now living in the galaxy. As you see all these creatures, you feel as if your worries are melting away. You can feel a great love radiating from every single being here. You have never felt such a wonderful presence of love. You are now in front of the spirits. They look happy to see you. They greet you, and you realize that they are happy to see you. The spirits of the galaxy have been waiting for a very long time for you. You have been here for a long time, and you are feeling so good and happy to be with the others. You are more relaxed now than you have ever felt before. You hear the voice of another spirit. She is telling you that you will get through this world on a very interesting journey, and she wants you to know that she is proud of you. She wants you to know that you have a good heart. She believes in you. She knows you will get through all of this, and that everyone on this planet is going through a different journey. You are going to have a life full of peace. You have never felt so calm in your life. You are going to enjoy all of the wonderful gifts this planet has to offer. The spirits are now explaining how amazing this planet is. Life on this planet is going to be incredible. The spirits are now bringing someone closer. The entire planet is listening to this new being speak. The being says that everyone can feel the presence of love, and they have been waiting for a very long time for this feeling to be alive. The beings of this galaxy are telling you to listen. They are telling you that this is a time for you to listen to your heart. The spirits of the past, present, and the future are here to help comfort you. You feel as if you are being carried on a beautiful journey. There is a peaceful sense of calmness around you. Your worries are gone, and everything is right. The whole world is calm and happy. All of your questions have answers. You are looking at the most beautiful place in the universe. You are surrounded by creatures that have been around since the beginning of time. The beings of the past, present, and future are here. It is as if you were in the middle of the creation of this galaxy. The spirit of the fourth dimension is once again becoming more and more powerful. This whole galaxy is going to be with you. The spirits of the past, present, and future are going to be helping you out. This is your true home, among the stars. The feeling of lightness and the reduced gravity make you float. This is a place where everything is so magnificent. The powers of the fourth dimension are more powerful than you ever imagined. The energy is still there. It is so powerful. You can feel the powers of the universe surrounding you. You are so overwhelmed with the love that you have never felt in your life. Your heart feels alive with these feelings. You can feel the whole universe pulling on you. It is pulling you into a great adventure. The spirits are more powerful than you have ever felt in your entire life. You feel as if you are part of this universe. You are now floating. You are going to discover a whole new world. You are going to be amazed by all of the things that you discover. You are the amazing one in this incredible world. You are ready to take a journey on this planet. The voices of the spirits are strong, and the energy is steady. You are surrounded by a light that is ever changing. This is the light that is going to carry you through this experience. The tour of the galaxy starts now. At first, you can't believe what you are seeing. You feel a sense of energy that you have never felt before. It is a different type of energy. It is a light energy that will be with you throughout the rest of your life. The light gives you the strength and the courage to face the challenges of life. You are not the only one on this planet. You can feel a sort of connection with other planets and civilizations on this planet. You can feel another galaxy pulling on you. You can feel other energy around you. It is very comforting and calming. You feel as if you are a child again. You are looking at everything with childlike wonder. The spirits are guiding you. You are looking at the stars in such awe. The spirits are there with you. The voices of the spirits are around you, and the energy is there in the form of a bright light. You are standing on a different type of planet. This is a planet that exists in a higher dimension. It is very much like the other planets. You can feel that the planet is different. The energy is not the same as your world. It is different. It seems to be a different type of energy that is just as powerful. The planet is in this universe of light. You are now in the fifth dimension. You are in the fifth dimension in your mind. You are watching this planet from your mind's eye. You are watching it go through this fifth dimension, from the fifth level of consciousness. You are also watching the fifth dimension unfold all over the universe. You have truly explored the whole universe.